For those of you who might not know, I was without power due to the severe storms, high winds, tornadic activity, and other types of Mother Nature's mayhem that circulated in the Louisville, Kentucky area on Sunday noonish. And at that point, there were 60,000 people without power. Now they're up to 5 fatalities in the overall region, mostly from trees falling on people, because it was hell out there, is what it was. But anyway, so we did the update to let people know I was going to be without power, and we recorded that Monday noonish. And Brian, at that point, I didn't know when we were going to get power back, because I said 60,000 people or whatever down at that point. Electric company with the automatic recording on, basically saying, yeah, we know. Yeah, we'll get to you. And then Monday afternoon, we heard that, oh, yes, they've now estimated that everyone will have power by Wednesday night at midnight. And so at that point, I've already called the yard fellows that mow my yard and told them, hey, get the trailer over here, because you ain't gonna be, we got all kinds of shit laid around. It's good. You're gonna need a saw. And a couple guys, come over when you can. They were over at 7:00 at night, Brian, with a trailer, because everybody else had the same idea, made the same call. The trailer, when they pulled up, it already looked like the Grinch's sled about to go up Mount Crumpet. I'm like, how the fuck did the police not pull you over on any kind of road you took to get it? And they're starting to put my stuff on there. And they're up there jumping up and down on it. And they got the big stuff. They had to have a saw, and they got the big stuff with the leaves and everything, and all the smaller stuff, anything under 5 feet, or they've piled under the goddamn trees. And they're out of here. And then Monday night, we had another big barbecue out in the backyard, because that was the only way we could cook. And also now we're thinking, well, all this food, I got my beautiful ground sirloin for world famous meatloaf, the whole 9 yards. Because now we're thinking this food is going to melt, and I'm not going to make my meatloaf with the ground beef that I'd gotten, and blah, blah, blah. So we're just barbecuing everything. So I stuffed myself. And then I'm thinking, well, there's nothing else to do but go to sleep. And Stacy, she can't plug her CPAP machine in, so she can't sleep, leaning all the way back, because there's that, pesky little thing of stopping breathing. So she's down and the recliner couch. I got no recliner in my house that will recline, because they're all power. They're all electric. I mean, what the fuck? We don't realize, Brian, how much we depend on this for our everyday activities. And for all of you assholes out there who say, well, get a generator. You got enough money.
There it is.
And Brian, you're one of those assholes.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm one of those assholes, although I may be. But I hear it from a lot of the other assholes. Just tell Jim to get a generator. Why haven't you told him to get a generator?
Well, and you have, and here's what I told you, because it's never that easy. It's not easy being me. I've checked into the generators. They would run off my propane tank. We don't have the gas lines out here, and we can't run off electric. That's kind of a hat on a hat, right? So it would run off my propane tank, it or they, however many might be needed. I don't care. I'd do it tomorrow. But because of the plans that we've been trying to make to construct either a one-car garage or some type of construction apparatus to put Stacy's antique car that she inherited from her father in, which would require extending the driveway slightly to where it would have to go, because I'm not going to put it in the fucking front yard, at which to a point that doing this and extending the driveway and doing the blah, 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 and all this other stuff, and an architect and or goddamn contractor or contractors and electric people and etc., I would also have to move the propane tank, which is buried. So then it becomes a goddamn thing that I ain't had time for yet. And if I put a generator in now connected to the propane tank, I'm going to have to move. Then I'm going to have to move the propane tank. I'm going to have to move the generator too. You understand this, Brian, when I explained it to you.
I mean, I understand that this is your issue. I don't understand the whole issue.
Well, it's an issue because I ain't got time to find people to come out here to goddamn do simple work. And when I do find them, it takes months to get them out here.
You can't tell me the Monroes don't deal with propane. You can't tell me they don't sniff propane.
I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to rely on the Monroes to install anything explosive on my property. Can you argue with that? You've seen a picture of the Monroes.
You have insurance for a reason.
Yeah, well, and my family. What might be left of them would collect it then. Anyway, back to this shit. So I'm going to go to bed Monday night. And Stace's going to sit up, and I'm going to go lay down because my back, it feels better when I lay down. And now Harley is confused because she's used to sleeping in the bed, but she's like, where's Mommy? Well, if she's downstairs with Mommy, she don't understand all this other activity. So I'm trying to nod off, and just when I nod off, she wants to go downstairs. Okay, boom. Come back upstairs. It's stuffy upstairs. And I goddamn opened the windows because it got 80-something degrees on Monday. And so I open the windows, gets a nice breeze coming in. And as I open one of the bedroom windows, I see that the windstorm has blown a limb, not big enough to break the window, but it's gone right through the screen. And there's a hole bigger than my fist in the window screen. And I go, well, now, God, I like to have the window open, Brian, so I can get the fresh air and hear the birds twinkling. But now I'm thinking, well, some bird could fly in this or some bug or whatever. Now I'm going to have that fixed. But, you know, what's the odds anything's going to happen tonight? I'm going to bed. So I'm laying there reading by my battery-operated lantern light until I get sleepy. I'm going to nod off here, and I turn the light off, and it's pitch black, and it's dead silent. I roll over, but I think, well, I am kind of comfortable. And right then, some kind of goddamn bug flies in and lands on my naked shoulder right next to my head. And I came out of the, God damn it, Jesus Christ, come out of the goddamn bed, swinging and a kicking and flowing the covers around. And I hit the lantern light and I grab my flashlight and I'm looking around and it's one of those fucking shield bugs. It's been everywhere for the past few years.
Stink bugs?
And the stink bug, yeah, but they look like a shield. There's all kinds of stink bugs, but these are the shield bugs.
I think shield bugs are stink bugs.
Yes, but there's more kinds of stink bugs than just ones shaped like shields. So you're talking shield stink bugs instead of just a regular old stink bug. And those shield stink bugs are especially nasty looking. The SSBs.
That was my nickname in the shield. The shield stink bug.
Shield stink bug. So anyway, I grabbed the goddamn Kleenex and I grabbed this goddamn bug and I fucking scrunch it and I throw it out the goddamn hole in the fucking screen window. But now I'm not only I'm awake now because I hate that kind of shit, a dark room, but also now the bedroom is spoiled for me, right? And it's hot upstairs, but all the beds are upstairs where it's hot and stuffy. And now I don't feel good about leaving the window, but I'm going to go down in the TV room in the lowest part where it's cool. And I take 2 blankets and I lay them down on the goddamn floor. And I fucking get my pillow and I lay it there and I get my lantern because now I'm awake. I'm going to read again. And by now it's fucking 3:30 going on 4 o'clock in the morning. And right as I think I'm going to finally go to sleep, and I turn the lantern off, and I roll over, and I go, ah. And I just think this has been like W.C. Fields and It's a Gift doing the porch routine, just trying to get a night's sleep. And suddenly, guess what happened, Brian?
I know what happened.
The power came back on. Brian, all of a sudden, all the lights are on, and shit's powering up, and I'm, what the fuck? And now I have to go around the house turning off all this shit and making sure everything's still working. And my computer here, that you don't care about me as a friend, you just worry about the state of my computer and the internet for your own selfish business reasons. So now I'm thinking, is that blown up? And I come up here and I reset that whole thing. And then I'm now, okay, now we got the power. Thank God. Now I find out that the only thing that we ain't got is the air conditioning in the office. It ain't come back on. The power surge has blown the air conditioning in the office. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have somebody coming at 8 o'clock to locate the water line in the front of my property from the road because we're fixing to plant, I don't know, 18 or 20 fucking trees and giant green bushes of various kinds along the fence row. And so now I've got to stay up because now I've got to call the fucking air conditioning service people. And I got the water locators and then the storm window people that it's taken me 2 months to get out here to restore my original windows at the west end of the house that my father put in the 50s and give me some new storm windows to protect them. It's a very specialized field that only a few people, they're coming at 11 o'clock. I got all this shit, and then the water line locating guy comes in at 8, and he can't just take a fucking metal detector. There's a variety of apparatuses. He's got to check into my back spigots. There's some kind of PVC associated with all this stuff. It won't show up. Then the storm window people come 2 hours early, and they're fucking prying aluminum off the round of the side of my windows. And then here comes the yard mowers to mow the yard, almost running down and killing the goddamn water line locating gentleman in the process. It's a goddamn madhouse. And I can't get rid of all those people for it was 3, 4, 5 hours. And I've had no sleep. And then because I couldn't record the AEW presentation Sunday night because the DVR box had no power to it, you had to arrange for me in surreptitious fashion a link in which I could watch this thing after the fact because I'd already paid for it and didn't get it. But I couldn't bear that. I said, I'm going to warm up every goddamn piece of leftover meat that we've barbecued and stick it down my neck, and I'm going to go to bed. And that's what I did at about 7 o'clock on Tuesday night and slept for 12 hours straight. And then got up and watched AEW. Can you tell why I'm pissed off?
I could tell why you're pissed off, yes.
The worst part of that experience was the watching of the AEW.
Oh, come on. Are you going to get a refund from the cable company?
Oh, no, you ain't heard the rest of it yet. Because I'm thinking as I get up at 7:30 on goddamn Wednesday morning, just a number of hours ago, where we can finally record this show, talk about these things, satisfy the people that are demanding they're at our throats for all this programming while I'm going through hell with gasoline britches on. And I think, the last thing I want to do is watch this on my computer, on the link that you provided, because it's a 20-inch screen. I got to sit here in my the same desk I'm going to be in for 4 hours doing this show. For 4 hours watching this stuff, I can't get more than 3 feet away from it because I won't be able to see it, but I can't hear it anyway unless I've got my headset on, which only has a fucking 4-foot cord. And have to go through this. Or it's on the streaming. I say it's on the streaming, and I'll get Stacy to fend. She gets on the Bleacher Report, right? And orders it on the Bleacher Report in the bedroom where I can lay stretched out in comfort and watch a real television. I know that the fast forward is dodgy, but I'll try to muddle through it, right? So now I bought this fucking thing twice. Ain't seen it yet. But then not only is the fast forward dodgy, as Davey Boy would say, it's dodgy, it's non-existent. Well, I won't put it that it's not that it's non-existent, it's that it almost completely is malfunctional. Sometimes you hit fast forward, you get a little counter at the bottom, and it will fast forward in 4-second increments. And then, but you can't tell what's going on because there's no on-screen. And then you hit it again. And sometimes you try to fast forward, it just goes to a black screen, or sometimes it does nothing at all. Sometimes you can get a counter at the bottom, sometimes you can't. It's goddamn, sometimes it buffers, it doesn't know what to do. And that motherfucker, I suffered through what it was the first hour of this show having to watch not watch every second, but listen to or experience or sit there while every second happened.
Well, the first hour was maybe the best hour.
Well, you can imagine my consternation then when I got to the end of this thing. When it got to the pockets match, I said, oh, hell no. So now I've paid for it twice. I come back up here and get on the fucking bootleg link that you provided me through your various sources.
I did not provide you with anything. Something came in and it ended up on your desk, and I don't know anything else about it.
You passed the bus. Something came into you and you said, I'm not touching this. I'm passing it on to Cornette.
I'm going to continue to pass that along. I'm going to continue to pass that along, and I had nothing to do with anything. This Cornette character you speak of, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, well, anyway, so I came back up here and I sat through the rest of it because at least I could fast forward parts of this fucking fiasco. And we're gonna talk about all that. We'll do it in chronological order. We'll start with Friday. We'll go to Saturday. We'll go to Sunday, and then I will bid everyone adieu. But that's it's just so we can get caught up and move forward with our life and figure out exactly when we're going to turn around and do another one of these shows. And